Hi, my name is Yemi Fashel, and I have a message for all entrepreneurs and employers of labor. As a human resource executive and a business owner, I have seen firsthand the challenges businesses face with workforce. More so, the jackpot syndrome worsens the situation, with companies losing their best hands at the speed of light. It is with great pleasure that I announce my partnership with TERAWORK, Africa's foremost and biggest online talent marketplace for businesses to hire talents that deliver. Whether to render services or engage them for short-term or long-term projects, you can always get needed professionals that are ready to achieve project success with you. I am excited to promote the platform and its many benefits to businesses and skilled talents alike. The aim is to drive economic growth and opportunities across the African continent. I am thrilled to be a part of the TERAWORK team, and I am eager to help the community grow. When they say hire in minutes, actually they mean it. Why not hear from the CEO, Femi Taiwo?
Thank you, Yemi. With TERAWORK, businesses can easily find perfect talents for their projects. With diverse pool of incredible talents to choose from across a wide range of industries, including tech, marketing, creative writing and design, not to leave out accounting and legal professionals who are ready to take your business to the next level. Yemi Fashion has passion for helping businesses succeed, especially in the areas of talent need. We're excited to have him on board and look forward to working together to provide businesses with the best freelance services and supports. Welcome to the team, Yemi.
TERAWORK, the future of work today.
Hello everyone, my name is Cyril, and I'm here to give a feedback to the folks on TERAWORK. They've done an amazing job. I used to use freelancers outside Nigeria, but when it became difficult to outsource my job outside Nigeria, I started using freelancers on TERAWORK. The guys have been capable, they've delivered on several jobs which I've done, and using the platform has been smooth and easy for me. Good feedback, good work by all the team at TERAWORK, good customer service, and most importantly, they have good freelancers that can do and deliver the job. So this is me saying keep up the good work, and I hope I'll do more business with you guys this year. Thank you.
Hello everyone, good morning. I'm excited to be here. My name is Taiwo. I'm a co-founder at TERAWORK. TERAWORK is a freelance talent marketplace that is helping businesses and institutions to thrive by connecting them to vetted talent across Africa. I'm excited to be moderating this session today. We have just 1 hour together to discuss about something that we can all relate to: the alternative workforce in the work of now. Over the years, 2 years or 3 years ago, as a nation, we've been suffering what we call talent drain and great resignation. And it's a great concern to all business owners. Our goal today is to give you possible advice to know how to plug into emerging trends, to learn how organizations like yours is actually integrating flexible talent into their process and making them to go ahead. I will need your help, my audience. We are here to answer all your questions as regard talent. Kindly send us on the chat your question. We've received a lot and we would love to have more on that. Today, each of my panelists has unique perspective into this topic, and they are here to let us understand how to stay ahead and overcome some of the challenges this new way of work is bringing our way. We have Mr. Yemi Fasheun. He's the CTO of YF Talent Partners, a business leader with over 30 years multi-sector, multi-function experience. He currently works with clients in his role as the Chief Talent Officer to drive the talent and business transformation agenda. I'm sure you will agree with me, we need to change the way we do things. He's the author of several fantastic books. One of my favorites is Thriving in Uncertainty and the Now of Work. Also, we have on the panel Mr. Gbenga Shodunke. He's a software consultant with over 14 years experience of raising and managing tech team to execute digital transformation strategies. You will agree with me, one of the ethic of business owner is managing tech talent. Is the CEO of Zinal Technologies Limited. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome these two amazing people with me today.
Thank you, Titi.
Yeah.
Thank
we
you.
all know as our business grows, we can't do it all by ourselves. And actually, statistics have it that 65% of businesses that fails is not as a result of product or marketing strategy. It's as a result of people's issue. It is important in the beginning of the year as we lay emphasis on product strategy, marketing strategy, we need to start planning our talent strategy. Today, we'll be listening to Mr. Gbenga as he walks us through his presentation on how we can actually stay ahead in this work of now. Thank you, everyone. Over to you, Mr. Gbenga.
All right, thank you very much, Titi. I'm happy to be here to talk about this, or to talk on this interesting topic. So I'm going to be taking us through remote work, how we can leverage technology to manage on-demand workforce. So quickly, we're going to be looking at the following topics today. If you can see the next slide. We'll quickly look at what remote work is, and then we'll go to the types of remote workers. Then we'll look into the big topic of today, which is the gig economy worker. Then we'll see what makes a proficient remote worker. Then finally, we'll explore the opportunities in the gig economy. So what is remote work? During the pandemic, the term remote work became a buzzword in most industries as a result of the fiscal restrictions which the pandemic enforced on everyone living on Earth. However, for some of us, especially some of us in tech, remote work wasn't new. I remember I started my career as a freelancer many years ago, and around 2010, as someone who has spent some years in freelancing, I decided to try my time with 9 to 5. So I got my first 9 to 5 job. That was like 10 years before COVID-19, and because it wasn't too easy, because I've never been used to. I've always been the freelancing guy, up from one project to another, even right from my undergraduate days. And suddenly I found myself having to wake up early in the morning, 5 a.m., leave home 6, so that I could resume at work by 8 a.m. in the morning. And coming back from work, the same thing, spending 2 hours in traffic. It wasn't really easy. And after spending a few months, I had to walk up to my boss, to negotiate an arrangement where I would have to work from home. And it was a very strange concept at that point in time, because to him, how can he be paying me in salary, when I'm expected to come to the office for 30 days, and now I'm saying I won't come to the office at all? It didn't just make sense. But I remember I kept pushing, and eventually he allowed me. We came to a middle point to say, okay, I would come to the office twice in a week. So we started from there. And after a while, I noticed something, that my boss began to like the arrangement. And I began to dislike the arrangement, because I soon realized that remote work was actually more work.
Yes.
The boundary of, the structure, the regimentation of the 9 to 5 was no longer there, where, once you resume by 9 and you close by 5, everything outside that time is now your own time. But with remote work, there was no, it was difficult to maintain the balance between my work life and my family life, and I started regretting negotiating for remote. However, there were a lot of benefits also I experienced, because now I could manage my time. I had my time to myself. I could use my time, prioritize my task however I wanted, as long as I was able to deliver what was expected of me. So fast forward to 2020, when COVID-19 struck, and people started talking about remote work with excitement. I was just shaking my head, hey, you people don't know what you're about to get into. So basically, remote work refers to the ability of employees to work from wherever they are. Could you please go back to the first slide? So thank you. So the ability for employees to work from a location outside of their office, often using technology such as video conferencing and collaboration tools. So that's the key word. For remote work to work, there has to be tools, technology tools, to connect and to collaborate. That is the key word. Without communication between employees and employers, remote work would actually be a frustrating endeavor, all right? So, however, there are two types of remote worker. I would like to go to the next point on the agenda, which is the types of remote workers. Though there are several types of remote workers, but there are two major types, which I would like to discuss today for the purpose of time. First one, we have the full-time, remote worker. A full-time employee remote worker is a kind of remote worker who works for a company, okay, who is a 9 to 5 kind of person, all right? But due to the pandemic, organizations now began to allow their workers work from home, not because they really wanted it, but nobody had a choice. For business to go on, workers had to work from home, all right? So that's the first type of remote worker, okay? Somebody working for one company, what they should have done at their offices, now they're allowed to do it, not necessarily at their homes alone, because WFH, work from home, also became a popular word during the pandemic. But also, co-working spaces also started springing up, a kind of arrangement where people can go and work, with other kind of people, where they could meet and network and all that kind, all those kind of things. Then the second type of remote worker, which is the kind of worker I would like to expand more on in this presentation later down the line, is the gig economy worker. All right. So the gig economy worker is basically a freelancer, or anybody someone like me, like I used to be, who was a freelancer, who could work for different companies on projects. All right. Project-based arrangement where you are not a 9 to 5 kind of person, you are not a full-time kind of employee, but somebody who is hired, who is using his or her skill to work for organizations, okay, within a certain period of time. All right. So, so gig economy, I would like to really expand more on what the gig economy really entails. All right. In a very, very short word, gig economy is basically what we all used to know as side hustle. Remember, especially ladies who work in companies, banks, I've always noticed that there's always a side business they always have around. Maybe selling bags, selling or selling one thing or the other by the side, even though they are doing the 9 to 5 kind of work. So we usually call it side hustle, right? And that side hustle business is what has eventually evolved okay, into becoming a gig economy, a major economy, all right, which over time, due to technology also, technology has kind of structured that kind of economy, such that the side hustle kind of thing now is now something people go into full time, all right? So the gig economy is a labor market economy, okay? Just like every other kind of market system, okay, where there are buyers, there are many buyers and there are many sellers, all right? But the only difference in this kind of economy, the only difference between the gig economy and the normal kind of, market system is the fact that the product that is being sold, or the seller in that economy is the employee, all right, the labor, while the buyer is the employer, okay? And the product that is being sold is the skill, all right, of the employee, all right? So it's a different level of economy, all right? It's not a kind of economy where, the employer is the big person, where the employee goes for interview and tries to lobby and all that. Yeah, that happens as well, but the gig economy actually gives more opportunity, okay, to a very skilled employee. All right, so the products being sold in the gig economy is the skill, okay, that the employee has. The next slide, please. So the gig economy includes a wide range of jobs, from ride-hailing drivers like Uber drivers to freelance writers to accountants, and also some people in the gig economy also work multiple jobs simultaneously. Like I was saying earlier. So somebody can be here and be working for 2 different companies anywhere in the world, okay, by using their skills. An accountant can be here, rather than taking a 9-to-5 kind of job, is working for maybe 2 major companies in different places of the world, maybe to balance the account for every quarter and such kind of stuff. So the key word about the gig economy is that the kind of jobs that are taken are, short-term contracts or project-based kind of work, and the employee is actually owed the ace, the bargain with their skill, all right? So I will go further to explore the structure of the gig economy on the next slide. This just shows the statistics, how huge the gig economy has become. Don't forget, I said the gig economy is basically the side hustle kind of business, or the gig, or what some people call the gig, but it has actually evolved into a $1.28 trillion industry. Now, this statistics was taken based on the U.S. economy, which is one of the largest economies in the world. And we can see from these statistics that 36% of the workforce in the U.S. are actually participating in this kind of economy. All right, not the 9-to-5. This is a different economy, from what we've always known, not the 9-to-5, but where people do side also full time. All right, so 36% of the workforce in the U.S. actually engage in this. All right, while 29%, of the workforce have alternative jobs as their primary jobs. So, meaning that 29% of workers in the US actually do their side hustles full time, all right? And the 9-to-5 job has now become the side hustle. Okay. That is the new reality we are seeing, in the now of work, all right? And on the next slide, this is very interesting. This slide shows that 38% of those who are participating in this economy are between the ages of 18 to 34, all right? And so we see here that the major demographic of people engaged are those we call the Gen Zs, all right? Gen Zs are those who are within the age of 11 and 27 right now, all right? And most of them are those who participate in this kind of economy, all right? So I know there's been a lot of backlash against the Gen Zs recently in the existing kind of workplace, right? Some are saying the Gen Zs are not, they don't understand some things, they don't understand process, they are rude, their demands are unreasonable. Well, I would say these people were born into an era where there's an explosion of information, all right? They don't understand process because everything happens instantly, all right? Now, they have information at their fingertips. Now, ChatGPT has come up now, which is way, way different from Google, where searching for anything on Google, you have to still scroll through different websites to find what you're looking for. But ChatGPT is now saying you don't even have to search. An AI, just type your question, and AI is going to scrub through the internet and present the best answer to you, so that the time you spend finding answers on the internet is greatly shortened. So these are the kind of people now we are trying to imbibe into the kind of workplace arrangement that has existed before now, and which is one of the things causing the friction we are seeing right now. So I would say that one of the things that the current employers would have to do to be able to work with this kind of people is to understand their psyche, to know the kind of people they are, and so that they can better engage them. So quickly, I will just run through the gig economy worker. Who are those that can participate in this gig economy? Because a lot of people have believed that the gig economy is only for the tech people, right? Only tech people can work remotely, work with companies all over the world, but that is not so, all right? In the gig economy, we have independent contractors, generally, all right? As long as you are independent, maybe you have your own company and you have a skill, okay, that you can help you deliver to companies, you can participate in this economy. A freelancer, as long as you're a project-based worker, or you're a temporary hire, or you're a part-time worker, okay, the gig economy is for you. The next slide, we'll see that, the next thing is what makes a proficient remote worker. Now, to be able to participate in this kind of economy, you must, like I said earlier, one major value, one major product you have is the skill, all right? That is what you are coming to the market to sell, okay? You are very, very good in one particular thing, okay, that is in high demand, okay, all over the world. As long as you have that, then you will surely be approached, okay, by buyers. Okay, buyers will come and patronize you, and you can give them the price you want. So in this kind of economy, as someone with the skill, you determine the price, all right, just like every market system, okay? The buyer actually determines the price, although it's a competitive market, which means the price is determined by the forces of demand and supply, okay? So one good thing about this economy also is that the workers, the employees have a lot of opportunity, all right? They have a lot of interested buyers, all right? Because they are the sellers. So that's why you see the tech industry, for example, you can have 10 employees, trying to poach one person. And that is one of the major reasons why the cost of acquiring a talent, in the tech industry is very, very high, okay, because they actually owe the ace, okay. Then the next thing, the next slide, please. So to participate in this economy, all right, one of the major questions you ask yourself, the next slide, please. One of the major questions you will need to ask yourself is very easy, actually. What do I have to offer in this kind of market, all right? Currently, is my current skill set valuable enough for the gig economy? Is my skill set in high demand in the market? Do I need to upskill to participate in this economy? These are the questions you need to ask yourself, all right? And it's very easy. If you don't have the skill, you can easily, there are a lot of information online on how to go about that, which I believe we'll talk about later, all right? So the next slide. Finally, we'll be looking at the opportunities in the gig economy, okay? So who are those, what kind of job opportunities are available in the gig economy? Next. So like I mentioned earlier, accounting and finance. Yeah, if you're an accountant, you can actually participate. You don't have to necessarily do 9-to-5 jobs, okay? There are a lot of opportunities available for you within this kind of economy, all right? Administrative jobs are also available. You can be an administrative assistant as a remote worker participating in the gig economy. Art and design, as an artist, as a musician, or a graphic designer, you can also get jobs while in Nigeria. You can work for companies all over the world as long as you have the requisite skill, which is in demand. As a construction worker, carpenters and other construction trades, you can also be hired, all right, as long as you have the skill and you have the necessary tools needed to work, okay? Education, as an instructor, you have a skill in a particular area, you can be a content creator, all right? Then finally, as a freelance writer, you can also participate in this. So next slide, and the next one. So lastly, what are the hubs? What is the doorway? What is my plug into the gig economy? All right. I would like to list TERAWORK is one of the platforms, one of the leading platforms we have, out of Africa that I've seen is TERAWORK, through which you can, as long as you have the skill, put in your CVs, put in your portfolio, and you can get picked, and amongst the other platforms. So thank you very much for your time.
Wow, thank you so much, Mr. Gbenga. Very fantastic and very profound points you've made today. And one of the things that stood out for me is when you mentioned the way we work is changing.
Yeah.
And as a matter of fact, as a business owner, as an HR consultant, you will agree with me that nowadays, it is not institution or business that choose who they want to employ.
Yeah.
The employees now have the tool to even choose, do I want to work for A or I want to work for B?
Yeah.
It's obvious the way we work is changing, and the mindset we need to have as a business owner that we are in a very interesting times and we need to up our game to be able to attract the right talent. My first question out of numerous we've received over time is to you, YF. How can a business remain competitive? Now we understand that it's now the employee that has the power to choose. It's no longer the other way. So how can we, and again as a nation, there's Jackpot syndrome. Everybody is relocating. The best talents are leaving the shores of the nation. So as a business owner, as an institution, there was an article that was written sometimes last year about what is happening in the financial institution in Nigeria, where most of the tech guys, they've left. And it's causing a lot of issue in their internal processes and the way they run their business. So how can a business remain competitive concerning what we are facing now?
Well, thank you, Tizia. Thank you for inviting me. Thanks, members of the audience. You see, I mean, there are so many things we've talked about in the last couple of years. How can a business remain competitive? The fundamentals are still very important. The fundamentals of business strategy, the fundamentals of economic assumptions, the business model, the funding, and all of that. But beyond those fundamentals, what has also hit us in the face in the last 3 years since the pandemic is the fact that we need to change the way we see people management. You can wrap that around leadership and also culture. Just this morning on my way here, somebody who is a founder of an agri-tech called me and said to me, I mean, we have a problem. That virtually in a particular circle or platform, people were scared that January was approaching because it was going to be a time when somebody would just say, CEO, can I see you? Or founder, can I see you? And once they say that, you know what that means? Is that Japan, another organization, I'm going to school and all that. No, and it is everywhere. But this individual is like a case study for me from a leadership and culture perspective. I mean to not mention the person at this point, but the person hasn't witnessed any attrition. And that is because before the individual got into the place of leadership, right, there was tutelage, there was process, there was readiness for leadership responsibilities and people management. So what I would say is that organizations need to up their game around not just the business side of things, which, like I said, are fundamental, but we need to move also closer to the people management side of things. And that's around culture, that's around leadership, that's around engagement. And like Benga said, that's also understanding the new worker. So work has changed in the hour of work. The workplace has changed, how we work has changed. But it looks like so many organizations are still ignoring the worker, the new worker. And the new worker, like you said, is all about the gig economy. If you give them $1 million a month or $1 million a week and give them maybe official car and all that, they'll still ask you, can I do remote work? We just need to understand and move away from the scripted biases around the new worker and understand what's driving them, what's the motivation, what are they about. The more we understand all of that and we're able to manage them better, then I think the competitive advantage around people will still be number one. You know, we've always said that people are our greatest assets. We've always said that. But maybe we just say that to put it in the annual report or to say it in the media. But in real terms right now,
power has shifted hands. You say that the place of work is changing. It has totally changed.
Yeah.
And though the changes are not abating, but the changes have been massive. So the more we quickly realize that around the new worker and how to manage them within the gig economy, the better. I mean, we're all in the gig economy.
Yeah.
The banks now, how many people go to banks to go and withdraw a check of 100,000 or 20,000?
Yeah.
Nobody does that anymore. I mean, the IT guys, the developers, they're all important in the entertainment industry, in the banking industry, even oil and gas.
Yeah.
And as a consultant, I can tell you that I have actively participated in the gig economy in the last 1 year. So one of the things that you will worry about before now will be, you want to go into entrepreneurship. Am I going to get an office space? Am I going to rent a building, fixtures and fittings and all that? You don't have to worry about all that anymore. Because you can easily access consultants to work with you, workers to be part of your team without necessarily having physical structure. And that is where TERAWORK comes in as well, so that we can bring in the skilled workers and also the buyers of their skills together. And life is a lot easier that way.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, YF, for those insights. And as a business owner, I would love to ask a question directly to Mr. Gbenga. You raise tech guys. My concern is I want to embrace the new way of working. I want to embrace the digital transformation. But how do I guarantee performance? We've had cases of business owners saying, oh, they are resuming 9 to 5, they are working under my roof, they are not delivering. So when you now allow them to go aloof, what will happen? So these are the concerns or maybe major challenges the business owner is facing. So in your own terms, maybe give us 5 tips to guarantee or advice that you can give to business owners that are looking, okay, I'm embracing this, but how do I ensure that deliverables are met, timelines are met?
Okay. Thank you very much for that question. And so as a business owner, I have a set of ethos that I understand and that I employ in managing my business, which has also worked, which I've seen worked for many other businesses which I've looked up to over the years. Okay, and so there's something called the 3 Ps, but I added one to it. I have 4 Ps of business, right? And we have the product, the people first, then we have the product. The third one is the process, right? Then we have philosophies. All right. Now, the answer, it's like that's how I think. I think in mathematical models most of the time. It's like the formula for building a sustainable business for me. And you have to know when to deploy, which one of them. And the one that would directly answer your question right now is the process aspect of it. All right. So you can have great people, you can have great talent, right? And through the people, you're able to build a very great product. Okay, but to be able to, sustain, okay, whatever you've built, you need a sustainable process, a very well defined process, okay, which all the stakeholders have to understand. All right. So now, recently at our company Zionel, we began to update and upgrade our processes. Okay, we don't do full remote. We do physical. We do even physical. Okay. And coincidentally, I've tried to propose remote stylishly, but I realized my team don't like remote. They prefer to come physically, and I think it's because of the culture we've created within the organization. Okay. But I was now telling them, I said, okay, but this year we're going to be stepping up our game in the aspect of redefining the process of how we do things as a tech company, right? And I was telling them, if we're able to get this right, okay, then I can be rest assured to say, wherever you are in the world, you are going to do your work and you're going to deliver your work, all right? So depending on the kind of company, all right, if it's a tech company, that different processes, workflow management that can be put in place to enable the different teams work together, okay? Because to produce a product in tech, different teams need to come together, okay, to produce a product. But beyond the product development aspect, now there's the performance management aspect. There's a process that can help you manage the performance of every team member, okay? And one of the ones we use, which has worked for us, is the adoption of OKRs. All right, it's a very powerful tool, very, very powerful tool, where you define the objective, the general objective, you know, of the company for the year, then break it down into a quarterly objective, then break it down into monthly objective, right? And then you define key results. What are the things we must do to be able to achieve this objective in the next 1 month? Okay, so after breaking it down, so every team should have their key result. Yeah. All right, then after which every team will now also define the task they have to perform to be able to meet up with the key result. Okay, so in terms of technology tools that can be used to drive that, I realized that a software as simple as not basic really, I found that Excel is a very powerful software. Okay, Excel, you know, can help keep track of all the tasks. So every unit have their task. Every member of the team know their role, okay? Between now, maybe weekly, they know what they have to achieve at the end of the week. And all the project manager is doing is just going through the sheet and seeing what is being done without talking to anybody, without calling anybody. Everybody knows the task they have to achieve, you know, within a period of time. And they know how that will affect the overall objective, yeah. You know. So setting up that simple process goes a long way. It doesn't matter whether they come physically to the office or whether they work remotely. Work is being done as long as everybody understands the objective, and they also know that the objective, once achieved, will affect them positively, because it's also tied to, depending on the metrics we've decided to track, it affects the general revenue, and everybody understands how the increase in revenue, you know, trickles down to their pocket. So the whole thing just becomes better managed. You don't need to talk or even motivate anybody much. They understand the objective and they know what to do to be able to achieve the objective. So to me, that has been the simple process. That process, you know, drives, helps the organization achieve the objective, while everybody is also involved in ensuring the objective is being met. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Mr. Gbenga. And talking about process, I will say I was excited when you mentioned OKR, because at TERAWORK we are backed by Google, and everybody knows they are not the one that invented OKR, but they are very big when it comes to OKR. And one of the things we've been able to add to our process is, when you hire anybody on TERAWORK platform, which we believe as business owner experiencing this, you should carry it on into your business as well. We make sure that an objective and key results are set, so that everybody will on the same page. We are all concerned about deliverables, but when you know that, oh, we've set this objective, we've set key results, we've been able to leverage technology to make sure that you are not alone managing this talent when you hire anybody on TERAWORK. And number two, clearly we've defined what we are expecting, and we help you all the way to achieve what you plan to achieve. So it is important you have process in place, as he has said. That is very, very, very profound and spot on. As a business owner, you don't just, oh, I hire people, you don't even know what they are doing or what you hire them for. At the end of the day, money is going, salary is being paid. You need to set an objective for them to know this is what we want to achieve as a company, and then this is what you are contributing to the bottom line. And technology tools will help you every time, on weekly basis, on daily basis, to measure the outcome. Then I love this question, and it's going to be to YF. During the course of us launching this platform and trying to change people's perspective about the way we work, we have, I would say, there's been a bit of challenge about the way the HR community is actually, their perception about the way we work. That's the truth. They have fears, they have concerns that, wow, are you saying you are going to replace me? Are you saying, oh, when you people come on board, they don't need my service anymore. However, I noticed that statistics have it that HR become much more relevant during COVID year because people know that it's beyond recruitment. It's much more about leadership and managing people. So what are your recommendations for HR to overcome their fears concerning the workforce of now? A lot of them need to be reorientated. A lot of them need to know that technology, platform, gig economy is actually a complement, not really out to take them out of their place or to replace.
Okay, so this is what I'll say, and this is because I belong to excuse me, a couple of communities. I think that that fear might have been an initial response to new realities. But given the conversations that I've had with colleagues and several individuals right now, I promise you that HR isn't in the space of fear anymore. We are in the space of collaboration. Because I mean, what could we have done to COVID? Nothing.
Yeah.
What could we have done to the opportunities available for people? What could we have done to Canada, taking people away from Nigeria? What could we have done to people going to the US and people living in Nigeria and working offshore? There's nothing we could do. Our fears or our attempt to fight the realities wouldn't change the realities on ground.
Yeah.
So I promise you that we have moved away from the place of fear to the place of collaboration. So we are, many HR professionals are now collaborating with platforms like yours to say, how can we get people? I mean, one of the big fours, it was interesting that I had a conversation with one of the partners who had an employee relocated to Canada. And they said, okay, yeah, it's fine, you can relocate, but how can you continue to work with us? We have come to that reality.
Yeah.
I know somebody who lives in Nigeria and works in Brazil. If he works on a Saturday, probably still sleeping right now, and he's going to start working about 2:30.
Yeah.
New realities. We can't help it. I work with a client, and one of the members of the executive management team, lives in the UK and works in Nigeria full time. He works full time in Nigeria. I say that because he's been involved in all the meetings I've had with them since about September, when we kickstarted the project. So those are new realities. Maybe we're still looking at HR with the frames of past realities. The HR of today within the Nigerian ecosystem, I promise you, we are more amenable to the new reality. So it's collaboration. I mean, I had a conversation with somebody who said, I mean, is it possible to even think of getting employees from other organizations on short-term basis? Would you have thought about that before? Because of a shortage of skills in that particular area. I said, okay, can you just send somebody, we have a project, we don't have people, can you send somebody from your organization to our organization? Another client was saying to me that from a training and learning and development perspective, we want to send our employees to our clients so that they can learn more about our client's business for a 3 to 6 month period, and then they can come back so that they can serve the client better. A lot has changed. So technology has changed things. COVID has changed things. The gig economy is a reality, and I promise you that HR is not sitting in the space of comfort. We are collaborating with the new realities.
Wow, thank you. And actually, I can say that I've interacted with a bit, some of your proteges, and I understand their mindset is actually totally different. Thank you for all your questions. We are receiving them, and please keep them coming, and we would definitely take more. So 2023 is a year of a lot of uncertainty for us as a nation, and globally there's a lot going on in terms of recession. So as a business owner, Mr. Gbenga, how do I prepare for uncertainty? How do I minimize costs and maximize profits by agile talent strategy? I mentioned in the beginning that it's the beginning of the year. Our major focus is about our marketing strategy, is about our brand strategy, is about product strategy. But the truth is, we are neglecting one of the most important anchor of our businesses, which is talent strategy. At the end of the day, when we plan with all these people and they decided to leave to Jakarta, what happened to our businesses? And like you said, sometimes when an employee say, I would like to see you, sir. You have BP already. So, and
Wow.
much more than before, I will say these are trying moments for businesses. Everybody wants to cut costs.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to maximize profits. So how can I, this is the question of this person, prepare for this, and how can I, what are the talent strategy I need to have so that I can be more competitive, I can stay on top, cut my cost, maximize profit. Yeah.
All right, thank you. That's another interesting question, right? So as an economist, I happen to be an economist as well, and
you're actually an all-rounder.
One
HR person, a software developer, an economist. Wow.
I have my first degree in economics, so which affects a lot of what I do and how I do things. And so one of the major things we know in economics is that, of course, output is a function of several inputs.
Yeah.
All right. And if you want to increase revenue, you either reduce cost, all right, and to increase profits, you either reduce cost and increase revenue, all right, because in the interaction of price and quantity results in revenue, right?
Yeah.
So now, looking at it from the point of output, the people is a key input. The people is one of the major inputs you need to have in place before you can start talking about increased output and consequently increased revenue, right? So if at the beginning of the year you have like 10 people working for you, and by the end, before the first quarter, about 5 of them have told you they're leaving, then you know you're in a very big soup.
Yeah.
So the question is, what do you do? Before now, I have been a very big advocate, okay, of every company, okay, having a training academy. All right. Now, everybody just wants to take, but nobody wants to give. All right. And when we talk about scarcity, the only solution to scarcity is to increase supply. It's very simple. All right. If something is scarce, then what are you doing to increase the supply of that thing? So what I see that's been going on in the Nigerian employment or the HR workspace, the HR space for many years is that, sorry to say, most HR people or most organizations, now don't let me drop it on the table of HR, right? Because HR are working, they have employers as well. All right, most organizations always think of how to employ, how to hire. Nobody thinks about how to develop talent, okay, how to train talent, okay? And that's why I love organizations like banks. I know most of them have training schools, all right, because of the peculiarity of, their work, all right? And I've always advocated for, especially in the tech space, because this issue affects the tech companies much more, all right, because of the high demand for talent in that space, but little supply, short supply of talent. So I've been advocating everywhere on Twitter, that you guys stop complaining. Okay, how many of you have a training academy? All right, and all you think about is just how to hire people. And it got so bad. I remember I was consulting for a company some years back, and while working on that project, it was a short, about an 8-month project. And before I knew it, during the course of that project, people started leaving. Developers started leaving the company. I won't mention the name of the companies. We were leaving the company, moving to another company in Nigeria. All right, poaching. What happened actually was that the head of engineering of that particular company where I was consulting was poached by another company. And the moment the guy got to this other company he was poached into, his major KPI was ensure you get as many developers as possible from this company you are leaving. And for every talent that left the company he was leaving, there's a certain amount they will give to him. That was just his KPI. And before you knew it, there was a mass migration from this other company to the other company. Okay, poaching. All right, and not too long afterwards, that was like 4 or 5 years ago. That was when it seemed as if every company in the world started looking at Africa. Companies started picking tech talent from from Nigeria especially, and people started leaving. So at the end of the day, both the company that was poaching and the company that had been poached, they started looking at each other in the face. They were back to square zero. You know, there was no talent. Nobody to poach from, nobody to poach. You know, so at that point, I started saying, you know, it's best for everyone, let's invest in talent development.
Yeah.
Let's increase the supply of talent into the market rather than poaching. But the response I always got was, okay, you know the way it is, if you train people, they will still live. Well, yes, they can still live, but there must be a sustainable talent development pipeline in place, such that even when they're leaving, at least you have enough people to replace them. You know, and if everybody comes together to start developing talent, after a while, supply can even be much more than demand, and the whole thing will stabilize. You know, I know it could be a long-term thing or mid-term to long-term thing, but I believe we have to just try, you know, we have to start from somewhere, you know. And after a while, then I was consulting, and when I decided to, you know, start, you know, the company fully, you know, I didn't just, that was where, you know, we began from. The first thing we did when we were starting at Zania was talent development. So we started an academy because it was just an idea in my head. Then I decided, okay, let's practicalize this and let's see if it truly works. You know, then we started training. And a year after, we had more than enough hands to run our operations. You know, and it got to a point we decided, okay, should we shut down this training operation because we already have more than enough hands? But later on, we decided to go ahead, let's expand it. You know, which we later expanded, and we kept training and supplying, you know, even those who would need, you know. And I can tell you, in less than 3 years, we've never had to hire anyone. All our key talent were trained from our academy. And so I can say that it worked. It was an hypothesis at that time when I was saying it, but now it's a reality. It's no longer an hypothesis. I'm sure that it works. So if every company starts doing the same thing, you know, I believe this problem will be resolved and will contribute much more, even to the economy, okay, by helping people, raising people that will be able to get jobs.
Interesting.
Wow.
Yeah, can I just add to that? There was something I scripted in 2020, right after I looked at the things happening around talent attrition and talent management. This was in 2020, and I'm going to read it out as I had it on my notes app. I said the talent game has changed. Given that the horizon of today's talents have become global, they become unbounded talents, and career has become a short-termism phenomenon. The conversations around talent seem to be moving away, this was in 2020, from talent retention to talent contribution. And by this I mean contributing quality talents to the sector of operation, banking, oil and gas, etc., other sectors, other countries, and from an African perspective to the rest of the world. What quality of talent are you contributing to the global talent pool? And what goes around might still be coming around. Food for thought for people managers. So just to buttress what you've said, we moved away from developing talents. We moved away to just buying talents available. And because of that orientation, then there was a dearth of skills. So we need to go back to the fundamentals. Let's develop people for the talent.
Very, very important. We need to, part of our talent strategy is to develop people and then provide that leadership and mentorship for them as a business for them to grow. Ironically, our platform TERAWORK was built from scratch by young, talented Nigeria, and we've had cases where people will say, wow, are you sure this is from Africa? And we'll be like, young people, fresh graduates, under the right leadership, were able to express their gifts and skills to do something that wonderful. And again, as a business owner, we had to, talent strategy that we might need to adopt is leveraging talent pool. For example, TERAWORK has over 20,000 talents across major services that your business need, from accounting to a lawyer to software developer to social media manager to digital marketer, sales and the likes. while you train, or as a business, maybe solopreneur, you don't have the muscle to train. Leverage technology platform like TERAWORK to have access to the talent that you need. And again, embrace the hybrid model. Enough of turning people down because you felt, oh, I don't think I can control you because they are asking for, I want to work remotely. If you think you are no longer comfortable, platform like TERAWORK, like some other platform, we help make sure that you get value for your money or your money back. We have a part of our process is we escrow your payments. When you hire anybody on our platform, they don't get paid until they deliver on the task. And you know, when people know their money is at stake, a lot of them will make sure they deliver value. And to add to talent strategy, never hire without a referral. A lot of people are upping around. A lot of people are burning their fingers because you allow somebody into your business that you've not done your own background check on them. A lot of them are beautiful CVs written for them by somebody else. By HR because they know what. So see beyond CVs. Let there be a referral. And one of the things we've done at TERAWORK is to make those data available for you when you want to hire. If you want to hire a software developer, you will see some of the projects he has done. What other people are saying about him is ratings, either good or bad. We try to be fair because the truth is, it takes a lot to invest in these things, and we need to leverage on the abundance, which is technology. Thank you, everyone, and our time is fast spent. We have less than 10 minutes. We thank you for your questions. And the last one, I would like to direct this to both of you, but to YHealth first. Would you like to share more about the impact of technology in today's world of work, adoption of freelance platform, and the advantages? I know people know it has its own challenges. We can't lie. It has its own challenges. Sometimes it's like, oh, turnaround time when I want to speak to these people. You know, you feel like, oh, I have an idea. I need to talk about it right now. It has its own challenges, but can you share more light about how people can leverage technology to tap into the new trends of work and then the adoption of freelance platform? What are the advantages? You can touch on the disadvantages as well so that people can be aware.
Okay, so I'm just going to quickly make an allusion to what happened this morning. Just because I am on the TERAWORK platform, I got another gig that Titi introduced to me as I came into the studio this morning. If I wasn't on that platform, right, there wouldn't have been that opportunity. Because at times, this is what technology allows us to do. I always make this allusion. If you're a young guy and you are, I think the word we used was toasting. I think they use chaki now. If you're toasting a lady and the room is dark and the lady is passing by, you're trying to call the individual's attention and you're winking, will the lady see you? Absolutely not. So what technology allows us to do is to bring together what you talked about a lot, being skills, right? And then also how to make the skills obvious to those who will need them. So that's basically what technology is doing. Technology is also collapsing distances between people. We say now that we don't all have to be on Formula and Bridge every day to come to VI, to come to work. I can sit at home and work. As a matter of fact, I've been an entrepreneur for like over a year now, and I work from home. And all engagements to date have been through referrals. The referrals that you talked about. So let's not, this is where I'm going to say this finally, let's not think that technology will amplify what we do not have. Technology will only help us to amplify what we have. Otherwise, if we think technology is available and data is cheap and we want to bypass process by saying what we are not, through packaging of CVs and all that, it's a matter of time. On platforms that are available, tech platforms, you probably get the first job and the only job ever, because your rating and your referral will be zero going forward. So yes, skills first, value first, build capabilities, build solid skills, build your network, connect with technology through platforms like TERAWORK, and then the world is yours to have.
Thank you. Fantastic.
Wow.
Over to you.
All right, just like my boss has said, just to buttress what you have said, skill, yes, is one thing for you to have skill, right? But if you don't make your skill available, if you are not well positioned, if you don't put yourself, just to also use, what you have said. For example, let me use the example of a lady, who is looking for, a guy, and is beautiful, but he's always at home. Doesn't go out to where, or is not well positioned in places where her beauty will be assessed and will be seen. To get a prospective guy, she will just remain there. I will never get a guy, So the same way, you can be highly skilled, but if you don't go out there, put out your skill out there, put out your portfolio out there, nobody will know, the amount of skill you have. And another thing is recruitment strategy is changing, because of these new realities of work. HR people rarely, post job adverts anymore. Okay, nobody has the time to, even with the availability of ATS platforms and all that, recruiters would rather headhunt, right? Yeah. They would rather search for you, okay, as long as you've positioned yourself in a place where they can find you. All right, so platforms like TERAWORK gives you the opportunity to get headhunted. All you just need to do is put your skill out there, put your portfolios out there, then employers come for you. And don't forget, you are the seller in the gig economy. Yeah. All right, so you have to display your product, which is your skill, okay, in the market. So platforms like TERAWORK is the marketplace where employees have the opportunity to showcase their talent so that employers can come and buy and pay for their skills. All right, so that's just what I would say. Come out there, showcase your skill, display your wares, and find a good seller for what you are selling, as an employee in the gig economy.
Fantastic. Thank you. Yeah. Our time is fast spent, but I will quickly take these last questions from our audience. And I think this is something we've already discussed. As a business owner, how do I get the right talent to grow my business? So maybe just in 1 minute.
How do you get the right talent? As a business owner, the number one gift you need as a business owner is the ability to discern talent. When you see someone, now when you say talent is not necessarily someone who is skilled completely, but the ability to discern potential in people. That's one thing that's helped me a lot. Most of the very good people, loyal people working with me, I was able to get them even when they were not yet formed. But just by seeing the potential and seeing they have the right state of heart, humility, the ability, quest to want to learn, and to me, that's one of the major things I look out for. Once the basics are there, you can easily, once someone is teachable, and person has the right attitude to work, the person can be trained or taught to do anything, and that will be sustained for a very long time. So as a business owner, you must have a talent, a long-term talent scouting plan. So that, because I've realized when you train people, when you pick a raw material and you impact the person, which is one thing I've seen why I do a lot. Invest a lot in people. It might take a long time for the people to materialize, but by the time they've become fully formed, they will never leave you. Even if they can leave your company, but they will still be with you. For example, our head of communication and marketing, for a long time, she joined us and she grew within a short time. And she got an offer somewhere, because we're still very small at that point in time. When she told me about it, I encouraged her to go. It's a bigger company. You are going to really learn a lot. You'll grow faster there than you can grow here. But I told her, I said, if you go there, you'll grow faster. And whatever you learn there, you can still, bring it back. Just like, what I've said earlier. So the fact that people are leaving your company doesn't mean that they are leaving your company. They can still add to you. Right now she's in the UK doing, her second master's, working, but she's still working with us and still contributing to the growth of the company. Yeah.
Okay, so can I add something quickly to that?
Yeah.
Entrepreneurs, I think that is something that they also need to do. You also need to be attractive to the market. So be attractive to the market in terms of your invisible reputation, in terms of your value offering, and then also the personality of the individuals promoting the business. Because the generation that we are talking about now as new workers, they won't just jump into an organization. They will do a lot of research around you. They will research your culture. They will research the leadership style. They will research what you did to the last employee who was in that role. They will go on LinkedIn and find out the culture, the DNA of the organization. So before you can get talent from the very scarce pool that we're talking about, don't forget that you also, as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, as a manager, as a leader, must make yourself attractive to the market. It is only then that people will want to join you. Number one, talent attraction, and number two, they will want to stay with you, talent retention.
Wow, wow. Thank you so much, Mr. Gbenga, and thank you, YF.
Thank you.
We appreciate your commitment to this body and your investment so that people can be better. Ironically, we've come to the end of the session today. We appreciate everybody that has joined us in this session, Grow with TERAWORK, all over the globe. We hope we've been able to shed more light to some of your questions, the ones you've sent ahead of time, and we've addressed your concern as regards the workforce of now. We remain committed to our goal to continually provide you opportunities and access to all the flexible talent that you need for your business to succeed. Remember, with TERAWORK, you will never walk alone growing your business. We wish you all the best and have a blessed weekend. Thank you.